Smith & Wesson Performance Center 327 TRR8. What is it? Why do I have it? And why is it called the TRR8? Well, we'll answer all of those questions on Riders Range. Stick around. Recently, the Affordable Armory channel posted a video on if I could only have one gun. And they made that a community challenge and reached out to Riders Range to answer that. And Riders Range posted a video on if we could only have one gun. And I'll put a link up here to that our response to that challenge. And at the time I said it was a gun that we don't have, but I got to analyzing if I could only have one gun to serve as defense, food gathering, etc., etc., what would it be? So I selected the Model 327, preferably the TRR8. Checked with my local gun shop, and lo and behold, they didn't have one. They checked with all of their suppliers. They didn't have any. So, okay, well, it's something to dream about. And then yesterday, I was running some errands, and that little voice in the back of the head said, hey, you're on the west side of the county. You're not that far from Shoepex and Jackson. You haven't been there in a while. Maybe they've got some primers and some bullets and some other stuff you might want. Take a drive. Okay, so I did. Walked in, and they didn't have the bullets I wanted. Had a few large pistol primers, got some of those, and lo and behold, in the case, they had a Smith & Wesson Performance Center TRR8. And here it is. So naturally, since I posted that if I could only have one gun, it had to follow me home. It did, and here it is. Haven't shot it yet, so this is strictly an unboxing and taking a look at it, and it will go out to the range, and we'll do a follow-up on it shortly. This comes with the usual Smith & Wesson paraphernalia, plus a couple of things that you don't get with most other guns. One is a top rail with mounting screws and moon clips. We'll get back to those in just a minute. Of course, it comes with the usual other paperwork and the bicycle lock and so forth. So let's take a look at the gun itself. It is a Scandium frame Performance Center 5-inch barrel, 8-shot 357 Magnum revolver, finished in just a plain black finish, shrouded barrel. Gold bead front sight, typical Smith & Wesson adjustable notch rear sight. Not necessarily my favorite combination, but it does work. We'll take it out of the range and see how well it actually does work. And you can see that it came mounted with a rail on the bottom, but this rail is removable. Pop out those 3 screws, the rail comes off. Add the other rail on the top with the 4 screws and put anything on it that'll fit on a 1913 or Picatinny rail. Scandium frame, so let's see how much this gun weighs. I'm not going to load it. Normally I give loaded weights, but I'm not loading it up this time. We'll look at an unloaded weight, and we're on ounces, and it is 36.3 ounces empty. Again, Scandium frame. Definitely lighter than some other N frames. By the way, this is an N frame gun, which is their larger frames. We did a video on the 45JM, which is also an N frame, 45 with moon clips. I'll put a link up here to that video. So the cylinder is recessed. You can see it in there for the moon clips. But it'll also take, unlike the 45, it'll take the 38 caliber and 357 rimmed ammunition without moon clips. So if you're if you want to load quickly, moon clips are great. There are a couple of companies that also make speed loaders for them. They're not real inexpensive by any means. Moon clips are a lot cheaper, but we will be looking into those. This does say Performance Center on it, of course. On this side, it does say Smith & Wesson 357 Magnum. As again, I said, shrouded barrel. This is a little different than their R8, which does not have the window in here, which shows the extractor rod. It's kind of an attractive touch. I don't know if it ever serves any function other than shave a fraction of an ounce off the gun. One thing I did find interesting about this gun, though, is in the, let's see if I can show it from this side, in the top, right above the forcing cone, is a metal insert, and that is a blast shield. Because this is a Scandium frame, it's light, but it also, I'm sure, is not quite as sturdy as a forged steel frame, and therefore the blast between the cylinder and the forcing cone goes all around, and I've seen it start to cut through even steel frame guns in that area. So the blast shield is supposed to cut down or eliminate the frame cutting on that. It does have a lock on it. It's a current generation Smith. All comes with the little locks on it. It comes with a couple of keys. Double action, single action. It has a Smith branded Hogue monogrip on it. Light, comfortable. I do have something I'm debating about whether or not to put on this, and that is a VZ end frame grip for a round butt. By the way, this is a round butt, not a square butt frame. So I'm debating about whether or not to put that on. I think I'm going to start out with the stock grips on it. The top rail, of course, would be nice to put an optic on if I wanted the bottom rail. Some people might hang a light on it. I'm not big on lights for civilian guns, but and that provokes a lot of controversy. We did a video on that, and we'll put that up here too. All in all, it's so far it feels like a solid gun. It does have double action, single action, and it does typical of modern Smiths. It has a frame mounted firing pin instead of the hammer mounted like they used to have. And let's see what the trigger weighs on this. 9.94. We'll speed these up. And there's 8. It shows an 8 pounds, 5.4 ounce. Actually, that was a 9 pull. 8 pounds, 5.4 ounces average on the double action. Lighter than I thought, and it doesn't feel quite as light as that. All right, let's try the single action. All right, 2 pounds, 7 ounces. And we don't need to pull this 8 times because this one's going to be the same regardless, because it's not rotating the cylinder. All right, so actually 2 pounds, 12 ounces for the single action. Again, a little lighter than I thought it would be. So, all in all, not bad. It is a smooth trigger, unlike my 45 JM, the 625. This is smooth. That one's serrated, which I don't like. It does have an over travel stop on it. It is adjustable, and really there's no over travel at all on this. It stops when the trigger hits the frame. It's there. Cylinder has just a little bit of play in it, which kind of surprises me. Older Smiths lock up tight when the trigger is held back. Now, if you just cock the hammer, they don't lock up tight, but when you pull that trigger back and hold it, then that cylinder locks up tight. Now, those don't have, those that do that don't have the over travel stop in it. That could make some difference. By the way, this gun runs north of $1,300, and at least Shoepex didn't gouge me at all on the price. They were very generous in not doing that, since this is a hard to find gun right now. We said at the beginning we're going to say why. It's a TRR8. T is for tactical. There's the stories going around that a major police department SWAT team had some issues with their entry guy. You know that if you're going into the entry with a shield, you're holding a shield with one hand, a pistol with the other hand, and sometimes the semi-automatic that they were carrying against the shield would have a stoppage. And of course, if you're holding the shield, it's really hard to clear the stoppage. You can do it one-handed. It takes a lot of training. So for their entry guy, they wanted a powerful, higher capacity gun that would not suffer the same stoppages that a semi-auto would. So they reached out to Smith & Wesson, and Smith & Wesson came up with, they already had an 8-shot revolver, so they made this the tactical one. So that's the T. The R, it is a railed gun, as we already mentioned, and the R, next R, is it's a revolver, and then 8, it's an 8-shot. So a tactical railed revolver 8-shot is the TRR8. And I think this is going to serve our purpose well with a 5-inch barrel, the ability to shoot 38 loads as well as 357 loads. It's going to do everything that we need it to do. Put an optic on it. I could even put a scope on this for long-range shooting if I need to. Quick mounts to take it off. Carry this thing in a shoulder holster. I could carry this thing concealed. I did carry an end frame as a second gun on duty for quite a while, and in a shoulder holster under a jacket. So not an impossible gun to carry, even for somebody who's not all that big. So there it is, just in a nutshell, the Smith & Wesson 327 Performance Center TRR8. Interesting gun, and if I could only have one, if I was, oh, heaven forbid I should be limited to just one gun, but if I could only have one gun to do everything I needed to, defense, food gathering, etc., this is one that I'd seriously look at. There are others out there. Your mileage certainly may vary depending on what you have, what you shoot, what you want. If you like this video, we certainly do appreciate a thumbs up. Comments on this video down below. Comments on any other video to info@ridersrange.com. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Click on the notifications bell so you know what's coming up on Riders Range. Don't hesitate to check our website at www.ridersrange.com. So here's, again, a quick look at the Smith & Wesson TRR8 Performance Center 357 Magnum 8-shot revolver on Riders Range. We will be doing a follow-up on the range as soon as we can get out to the range and put some ammo through it. Thanks for visiting Riders Range.